So, here's the author vlog that I've been wanting to do. The only time that I can really get some extra time in is in the car. So for now, this is where you'll find me. I just want to say that if you're watching this, thank you so much for finding the Hellfire Chronicles and exploring it and giving it a shot, and giving me a shot. Whenever I tell people about my book, I always tell them kind of the origin story of the book. So I figure that's probably the best thing to do for my first author vlog. I started writing the book the very first day of my junior year of high school at J.J. Pierce High School in Richardson, Texas. And my first class of the day that year was photojournalism. And I took that class because I didn't want to take art again. I'd taken art class for like my entire life, and every year, art was like really cool when I was in 3rd grade, because I got to do whatever I wanted. It was about expressing myself. And then as the years go on, they start actually expecting things of you. And then they tell you that you have to do certain things, and you have to use their mediums to create art. And like, now you have to this is the pastel painting, and this is the gradient, or like the graphite drawing, or like this is the clay thing. And it's like, cool. But then they start like by 10th grade. I remember my art teacher was kind of giving me a hard time about my art. Like, wasn't good enough. I was like, this is art. What are you talking about? Not good enough. So I kind of was over it, and so I enrolled in photojournalism because that sufficed as the elective. Jeez Louise. And but it turned out that the elective or the photojournalism was just, now you're in the you're working for the school yearbook, the photography team of the school yearbook, or the yearbook, yeah, and also like the newspaper and stuff like that. And so there was nothing to do in the class. All of the stuff that you did was outside the class. So here you were just stuck in front of a computer for an hour of the day, out of your day, that whole period, and you did whatever you wanted to do. And so for me, I wanted to write, and I always had enjoyed creative writing, And I had written a couple of like small, like mini books by this point. I had written some short stories and things like that. But I was kind of developing my own style and my own voice, and I wanted to create something myself. And so I started writing in this class, and then I would just email whatever I wrote back to myself at the end of the day, or at the end of the period. And after, 2 or 3 weeks, I pulled it up at home and I realized, wow, I've got like 50 pages, and I'd never written that much before on any project. I'd always been kind of like, I got to 10 pages and then I ran out of stuff to talk about, or I didn't know where I was taking the story or whatever. And so it kind of, I guess it helped me break through that perceived, glass ceiling or something, where I thought I had to get past a certain number of pages to make it a book, when I didn't keep track of the pages. That was really cool. And so I started writing it, and over that year of school, I went and I finished the first draft of the book. And it was like, came out to something around like 150 pages. And that's, of course, on the Word document. So the Word document page equals like 3 pages on, like, if you put it into a real paperback book, So this is a substantial thing. And of course, it was the best thing I'd ever written up to that point, but it still wasn't great. So I gave it to a couple people to read. One was my psychology teacher. Another was actually, it would be my stepmom. And then my brother. And I kept tinkering on it, and I kept working on it, and I did some edits on it over the next couple of years. I graduated high school. I went to college. I continued writing on it. I thought maybe I could publish it at some point. And then it just became, after a while, it really did just become my project. Just something that I was working on. And it was meant to be something to work on. It wasn't about finishing the book. It was about working on the book, and I'd incorporate things that I really liked into the book. And I thought to myself, like, maybe this will just be something that I pass on to my kids and my grandkids, and they'll just see, like, oh, this is, Grandpa Kevin's book series that he wrote, and you can kind of tell each stage of his life he was in, based on the book, part of the book that he was writing. I had that kind of thought, but just recently, I decided that I wanted to finish the book, or at least the first 2 books, and actually, put them out there for the world to read. And I'm pretty impressed, actually, with I still read my own stuff and sometimes think, like, wow, did I write that? That's cool. And I've been tinkering with a couple things. I've been changing a couple things. But what I really am excited to do on the Substack, platform, I'm putting the book out there for everybody to read. I want to do the audiobook. So if you actually support the Substack publication by becoming a paid subscriber, you'll get the audiobook version of every chapter, so you can hear it read in the tone and atmosphere of how it should be. Something else that you're able to do is you're gonna get the artwork. And there was a time that I thought I wanted my book to have an art, like an illustration on every page of the book. And maybe that's too much, but I really wanted to kind of like have this be a very, immersive experience. And so you're going to receive a piece of art with every post. Right now, I've included that up to the first 2 chapters, or 3 chapters, for free. At a certain point, that's going to be only for paid subscribers. And finally, I'm going to also release some exclusive point of view excerpts. So, for example, there's a scene that I wrote, many years ago, and I've finished that scene. However, now I can dig deeper into that scene by writing from the point of view of one of the main characters in the first person, and how how they perceive things. I also intend to write dreams, because through the novel, dreams are how the seers basically use their telepathic abilities. They see the future, or they can not astral project, but they see other locations, and they can see things happening in other places at the same time. They do that through a dream state. And so I will write the dreams of characters. Some of them are the seers, some of them are not, but they all foretell and foreshadow things that are to come. And so that's also like an exclusive thing that you're gonna get as a paid subscriber. And then finally, if you choose to really crank out and get the highest tier of paid supporter, which I call a loyalist, you will have the chance to influence the 3rd book and the future installments of the Hellfire Chronicles, including introducing characters and voting on alternative endings. And so there's some really cool stuff coming your way, even for the the free subscriber out there. I really appreciate you reading my work. I would love to know what you think of it, get some feedback from it or for it, and I look forward to doing this for the foreseeable future. So enjoy the Hellfire Chronicles, and I'll talk to you soon.